Maya stared at her phone screen, her thumb hovering over the delete button. Another match on the dating app. Another chance. Another potential disaster waiting to happen. She'd been down this road before. The conversations would start great. Lots of laughter, shared interest, genuine connection. Then she'd mention the wheelchair, and suddenly the guy would have an excuse. Work got busy. He wasn't ready for a relationship. He met someone else. Once, a guy had the nerve to tell her she seemed like a lot of work. That one stung for months. So this time, Maya decided to do things differently. She swiped right on Alex's profile without overthinking it. He was 35, had kind eyes, and his bio made her laugh. Something about being a terrible cook but an excellent dishwasher. She could work with that. When Alex messaged her first, Maya felt that familiar flutter of excitement mixed with dread. They talked about everything. Her graphic design work, his job as a middle school teacher, their shared love of old movies and terrible puns. He told her about his daughter Lily, who was 7 and obsessed with dinosaurs. Maya found herself genuinely smiling at her phone, something that hadn't happened in a long time. A week into their conversations, Alex asked about her hobbies. Maya carefully typed out her response, mentioning her love of photography, reading, and trying new restaurants. All true. She just left out the part about doing most of these things from a wheelchair. It wasn't lying, she told herself. It was just selective sharing. The accident had happened 3 years ago. A rainy night, a distracted driver, and Maya's entire life changed in seconds. The doctors said she was lucky to be alive. Lucky. That word felt like a joke when she was learning to navigate a world that wasn't built for her. When friends slowly drifted away because hanging out became complicated. When her boyfriend of 2 years admitted he couldn't handle it and left. Maya had rebuilt her life piece by piece. She found a remote job that let her work from home. She made her apartment accessible. She learned to do everything independently, but dating? That remained her biggest challenge. The rejection hurt more than the physical pain ever did. When Alex suggested meeting for coffee, Maya's heart nearly stopped. This was the moment of truth. Or it could be. She could tell him now, explain everything over text. But she'd tried that approach before and it never worked. Guys either ghosted immediately or showed up to the date treating her like a charity case. She couldn't decide which was worse. So Maya did something she wasn't proud of. She said yes to the date and started planning how to hide her wheelchair. Her best friend Nicole thought she was making a terrible mistake. They'd been friends since college, and Nicole had been there through everything. The accident, the rehabilitation, the failed dating attempts. She was the one person who always told Maya the truth, even when it hurt. "This is going to blow up in your face," Nicole said when Maya explained her plan. They were sitting in Maya's living room, and Nicole was giving her that concerned look that made Maya feel like a scolded child. Maybe. But what if it doesn't? What if he actually gets to know me first before making assumptions? Maya argued. She was folding laundry, keeping her hands busy so she wouldn't have to meet Nicole's eyes. And when he finds out? Because he will find out, Maya, what then? I'll tell him eventually. When the time is right. Even as she said it, Maya knew how flimsy it sounded. Nicole sighed and helped her fold a shirt. "I just don't want to see you get hurt again. You deserve someone who loves all of you, wheelchair included. I know, but I also deserve a chance to be seen as Maya first, not as a girl in a wheelchair. Is that so wrong?" Nicole didn't have an answer for that. The day of the date, Maya spent 2 hours getting ready. She picked a coffee shop she knew well, one with the accessible entrance but also regular seating. She called an Uber and asked Nicole to meet her there 30 minutes early. The plan was simple. Nicole would help her transfer from the wheelchair to a regular chair at a corner table. Then Nicole would take the wheelchair home. Maya would already be seated when Alex arrived. After the date, she'd call another accessible Uber and say she had an appointment nearby. It felt elaborate and ridiculous, but it was the only way she could think of to have a normal first date. Nicole helped her get settled at the table, then squeezed her shoulder. "Call me when it's over. And Maya, good luck. I really hope this works out." As Nicole left with the wheelchair, Maya felt a mix of relief and guilt. She ordered a latte and tried to calm her nerves. What was she doing? This was crazy. She should text Alex right now and cancel. Or better yet, tell him the truth and let him decide if he still wanted to meet. But then she saw him walk through the door, and all rational thought flew out the window. Alex looked even better in person. He was tall with dark hair that was slightly messy, like he'd run his fingers through it nervously. He spotted her and smiled, and Maya felt her heart do a little flip. "Maya, hi, I'm Alex." He sat down across from her, and his smile was genuine. "I was worried I'd be late. Traffic was insane." "No, you're right on time. I just got here a few minutes ago." The lie came easily, surprisingly so. They fell into conversation like they'd known each other for years. Alex was funny and self-deprecating, telling her stories about his students and the chaos of teaching middle school. Maya found herself laughing more than she had in months. "So Lily, my daughter, decided last week that she wants to be a paleontologist when she grows up," Alex said, his eyes lighting up when he talked about her. "She's been digging holes in the backyard looking for fossils. So far she's found 3 rocks, a bottle cap, and what she insists is a dinosaur tooth but is definitely just a weird-shaped pebble." "That's adorable. Does she know you're here right now?" Maya asked. "No, she's with my sister. I don't usually introduce her to people I'm dating unless things get serious. Too confusing for her, you know." He took a sip of his coffee. "Her mom left when she was 4. Just decided motherhood wasn't for her and took off. So it's been just us 2 for a while now." Maya saw the pain in his eyes when he mentioned his ex, and she felt a surge of empathy. "That must have been really hard. For both of you." "It was. But we're good now. Better than good, actually. Lily's the best thing that ever happened to me." He smiled again. "Sorry, I didn't mean to get heavy there. Tell me more about your work. What's the most interesting project you've designed lately?" They talked for 3 hours. The coffee shop got crowded, then quieted down again. Maya completely forgot about her wheelchair, forgot about her fears, forgot about everything except the man sitting across from her, who made her feel seen and valued. When Alex finally checked his watch, he looked genuinely disappointed. "I hate to do this, but I need to pick up Lily soon. My sister has plans tonight." "Of course, no problem." Maya felt a flutter of panic. This was the tricky part. They stood up, and Maya was careful to keep one hand on the table for balance. Her legs were functional enough for short distances, but standing for too long was difficult. She'd learned to manage, but it took concentration. "Can I walk you to your car?" Alex offered. "Actually, I took an Uber here. I have another appointment nearby, so I'm just going to catch another ride." Another lie. They were piling up now. "An Uber? Let me at least wait with you until it gets here." "No, really, it's fine. You need to get Lily. I'll text you when I get home." Alex hesitated, clearly torn between being a gentleman and being a responsible father. "Okay, but text me as soon as you're safe." "I had a really great time today, Maya." "Me too. Really." He hugged her goodbye, and Maya had to focus hard on staying steady. As he walked away, she quickly sat back down and pulled out her phone with shaking hands. She ordered an accessible Uber and texted Nicole. Waiting for the ride felt like the longest 10 minutes of her life. What had she done? The date had been perfect. Alex was perfect. And she'd started their entire relationship with a lie. When the accessible van pulled up, Maya used the furniture to help her get to the door. The driver helped her into the vehicle, and she gave him her address. As they drove away, Maya caught her reflection in the window. She looked happy. Happier than she'd been in years. But underneath that happiness was a growing knot of guilt that she couldn't shake. Nicole was right. This was going to blow up in her face. The only question was when. The text from Alex came that evening while Maya was still riding the high from their date. "Made it home safe? Because I've been thinking about you for the past hour and wanted to make sure you're okay." Maya smiled at her phone like a teenager. They texted back and forth until midnight, and when she finally went to sleep, she felt lighter than she had in years. Maybe this could actually work. Maybe she could tell him the truth once they knew each other better. Once he could see past the wheelchair to the person she really was. The next morning brought a reality check in the form of Nicole showing up with coffee and bagels. So, how did it go? Nicole settled onto Maya's couch, eyeing her friend carefully. "It was perfect. He's funny and sweet and such a good dad. We talked for 3 hours, Nicole. 3 hours, and it felt like 30 minutes. And the wheelchair situation?" Maya's smile faded slightly. He didn't notice anything. "The plan worked exactly like I hoped." "Maya, I know what you're going to say, but can we not do this right now? Can I just enjoy this feeling for a little while?" Nicole sighed but nodded. "Fine, but promise me you'll tell him soon. Like really soon. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. I promise." I just need to find the right moment. Except the right moment never seemed to come. Alex asked her out again 2 days later, and Maya said yes without hesitation. They met at a restaurant this time, and Maya went through the same elaborate routine. Nicole helped her get situated at the table first, then took her wheelchair home. Maya was already seated when Alex arrived, and once again, everything went perfectly. Over the next month, they went on 5 more dates. Each time Maya had to carefully plan every detail. She turned down his suggestions to go for walks in the park or to visit a museum that required a lot of standing. She made excuses about being tired from work or not feeling well. Alex started to seem concerned. "Are you okay? You've been canceling a lot lately," he said during their 6th date at a quiet Italian restaurant. "If you're not interested anymore, you can just tell me. I'm a big boy, I can handle it." "No, it's not that at all. I really like spending time with you. Work has just been crazy lately and I've been exhausted." Another lie to add to the growing pile. Alex reached across the table and took her hand. "Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Because I really like you, Maya. Like, really like you. And I was hoping we could take this to the next level." Maya's heart raced. "What do you mean?" "I want you to meet Lily. She keeps asking about the lady I've been seeing and I think it's time. If you're comfortable with it, of course." Then meeting his daughter. This was huge. This was exactly what Maya wanted. But it also meant her deception was getting more complicated. How was she supposed to meet a 7-year-old while hiding her wheelchair? "I'd love to meet her," Maya heard herself say. "When were you thinking?" "How about this Saturday? You could come over to our place. Nothing fancy, just pizza and maybe a movie. Lily wants to show you her dinosaur collection." He grinned. "Fair warning, it's extensive. We're talking at least 2 hours of detailed explanations about the difference between the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods." Maya laughed, but her mind was already spinning with logistics. His house. She'd have to go to his house. There would be no way to hide everything there. That night she called Nicole in a panic. "I don't know what to do. I can't exactly hide a wheelchair in his living room. And what if Lily asks why I'm not moving around much? Kids notice everything. Maya, this is getting out of control. You need to tell him. Before you meet his daughter, before this gets any messier." "I can't, not yet. What if he changes his mind about me? What if he decides I'm too complicated for his daughter to be around? And what if he's actually a decent guy who doesn't care about the wheelchair? What if you're robbing him of the chance to prove that?" Maya knew Nicole was right. Deep down she knew this couldn't continue, but the fear was too strong. The fear of losing Alex, of losing this feeling of being wanted, of being seen as just Maya instead of Maya in a wheelchair. "I have a plan," Maya said finally. "I'll tell him I hurt my ankle. I'll use crutches instead of my chair. It's not the full truth, but it's a step closer." Nicole was quiet for a long moment. "You know that's just another lie, right?" "I know, but it buys me time. Once he sees that I can't do everything perfectly and he still wants to be with me, then I'll tell him the whole truth." "I hope you know what you're doing." So did Maya. Saturday arrived too quickly. Maya dressed carefully, choosing comfortable clothes that would make it easier to move around. She'd been practicing with her forearm crutches all week, building up her endurance. They were harder to use than her wheelchair, but they were also less obvious, more temporary looking. She ordered an accessible Uber to Alex's house, timing it so she'd arrive exactly when she said she would. No need for him to see the specialized vehicle if she could help it. When Alex opened the door, his face lit up, then immediately shifted to concern. "Maya, what happened?" "Are you okay?" "Oh, this? I twisted my ankle pretty badly a few days ago. Stupid accident at home. I'm fine, just need these for a week or so." The lie came out smoothly now. Too smoothly. "Why didn't you tell me? We could have rescheduled. You shouldn't be walking around on a hurt ankle." "I didn't want to cancel. I've been looking forward to meeting Lily all week." As if on cue, a little girl with dark hair and pigtails came running down the hallway. "Dad, is she here?" "Is she here?" "Lily, slow down. And yes, this is Maya. Maya, this is my daughter Lily." Lily stopped short when she saw the crutches, her eyes going wide. "What happened to you? Did you break your leg?" "My friend Tyler broke his arm last year, and everyone got to sign his cast." "Do you have a cast under your pants?" Maya couldn't help but smile at the rapid-fire questions. "I just hurt my ankle. Nothing broken, thankfully. But I'd love to see your dinosaur collection if you want to show me." "Yes. Come on, they're in my room." Lily grabbed Maya's free hand and started pulling her down the hallway. Lily, gentle. Maya needs to go slow right now, Alex said, but he was smiling. Lily's room was exactly what Maya expected. Walls covered in dinosaur posters, toy dinosaurs of every size scattered across the floor, and a bookshelf overflowing with dinosaur books. Maya carefully settled onto the floor, leaning against the bed and stretching out her legs. Lily immediately sat down next to her and started showing her each dinosaur, explaining their names, diets, and time periods with the seriousness of a museum curator. Alex brought them pizza and drinks, then sat down to join them. Maya found herself relaxing despite her discomfort. This felt right. Natural. Like she belonged here. "You're really good with her," Alex said quietly while Lily was distracted with rearranging her collection. "She's an amazing kid. You've done a great job. Thanks. It hasn't always been easy, but she makes it worth it." He paused. "How's your ankle feeling? You've been sitting for a while. Do you need anything?" "I'm okay. Maybe just some water?" "Of course." He got up to get it, and Lily scooted closer to Maya. "Do you like my dad?" Lily asked in a whisper. Maya felt her heart squeeze. "I do, very much." "Good." He smiles more now. "Ever since he met you, I like when he's happy." When Alex came back with the water, he suggested watching a movie. They moved to the living room, and Maya had to concentrate hard on making the transfer from floor to couch look natural. She was exhausted from using the crutches, and her legs were starting to shake from the effort. Halfway through the movie, Lily fell asleep between them. Alex gently carried her to her room, then came back and sat down next to Maya. "Thank you for today. It meant a lot to me that you came, even with your ankle hurting. Thank you for inviting me. Lily's wonderful." Alex moved closer and kissed her softly. Maya felt the world fade away for a moment. This was what she'd been missing. This connection, this feeling of being wanted. But as Alex pulled back and smiled at her, Maya felt the guilt crash over her like a wave. She was falling in love with this man, with his daughter, with the life they were building together, and it was all built on a foundation of lies. "I should probably get going. Early work meeting tomorrow," Maya said, hating herself for the excuse. "Let me call you an Uber. No way you're managing those crutches and getting a ride on your own." "I already ordered one. Should be here in a few minutes." She made her way to the door, and Alex insisted on walking her out. When the accessible van pulled up, she saw his eyebrows raise slightly. "Fancy Uber," he said. "Yeah, I have an account that prioritizes vehicles with more space. Easier to manage with the crutches." Another lie. How many was that now? She'd lost count. Alex kissed her goodbye and made her promise to rest her ankle. As the van pulled away, Maya looked back to see him waving from the doorway. She waved back, then turned forward and let out a shaky breath. Her phone buzzed with a text from Nicole. "How did it go?" Maya typed back, "Great and terrible." "I'm in too deep, Nicole. I don't know how to fix this. Tell him the truth. That's the only way to fix it." Maya stared at the message but didn't reply. Because the truth was, she wasn't sure she could tell him now. She'd met his daughter. She'd been welcomed into their home. She'd seen the way Lily looked at her and the way Alex smiled when they were together. How could she risk losing all of that? But more importantly, how could she keep lying to people she was starting to love? The answer scared her more than anything. She didn't know. 3 months into their relationship, Maya had become an expert at deception. She knew exactly how long she could stand without her legs giving out. She knew which restaurants had the best seating arrangements. She knew how to time her accessible Uber pickup so Alex wouldn't see the ramps and lifts, but the weight of the lies was crushing her. She'd been to Alex's house 5 more times since meeting Lily. Each visit required hours of preparation and left her physically exhausted for days afterward. Her body wasn't meant to function without her wheelchair for extended periods. She was getting headaches, muscle spasms, and her pain levels were through the roof. But she kept going, kept pretending, kept telling herself that one day she'd find the courage to tell the truth. Nicole had stopped lecturing her and started just looking worried. Her physical therapist had asked why she was suddenly having more issues. Maya lied to her too, saying she'd been exercising more. The lies were eating her alive, but the fear of losing Alex was stronger. Then came the Wednesday that changed everything. Maya had been having a particularly bad week. Work deadlines were piling up, and the stress was making her physical symptoms worse. She'd barely left her apartment in days, canceling 2 dates with Alex and claiming she was swamped with projects. Alex had been understanding but concerned. "I miss you," he texted that morning. "I know work is crazy, but you need to take care of yourself too. How about I bring dinner over tonight? Nothing fancy, just want to see your face." Maya's heart had jumped into her throat. Her apartment. He wanted to come to her apartment, where her wheelchair was, where all her adaptive equipment was, where she couldn't hide who she really was. "That's so sweet, but I'm a mess right now. Work stuff everywhere, haven't cleaned in days. How about this weekend instead?" But Alex had already made up his mind. "Even better. I'll bring food and help you clean. You've been stressed, let me take care of you for once. I'm leaving school now, I'll pick up Thai food on the way. See you in an hour?" Maya stared at her phone in horror. An hour. She had 1 hour to somehow hide everything that would give her away. Her wheelchair that was currently right next to her desk. Her shower chair visible through the bathroom door. Her reaching tools and adaptive utensils in the kitchen. The equipment scattered throughout her apartment that screamed, "Disabled person lives here." She called Nicole in a panic, but it went to voicemail. Nicole was at work and couldn't just drop everything. Maya was on her own. She spent 55 minutes in a frantic attempt to hide 3 years' worth of adaptive living. The wheelchair went into her bedroom closet. The shower chair went under a pile of towels. The grab bars in the bathroom couldn't be removed, but maybe he wouldn't notice them. She shoved her reaching tools into drawers and hid her special utensils in the back of a cabinet. By the time she finished, she was sweating and shaking from exertion. She'd transferred to her couch using furniture and walls for support, and she'd positioned herself carefully so she could stay there without needing to move much. The doorbell rang. Maya's heart was pounding so hard she thought it might burst from her chest. She could do this. She just had to stay on the couch. Alex would come in, they'd eat dinner, maybe watch a movie, and then he'd leave. She'd gotten through harder things than this. She called out, "It's open." The door swung wide, and Alex stepped through with bags of Thai food and a big smile. "Hey, beautiful. I brought your favorite spring rolls and—" He stopped mid-sentence. His smile faded. The bags of food hung forgotten in his hands, because Maya was sitting in her wheelchair. She'd forgotten. In her panic to hide everything else, she'd forgotten the one thing that mattered most. After spending an hour clearing her apartment, she'd been so exhausted that she'd transferred back to her wheelchair without thinking. Muscle memory. Habit. The one moment she needed to be careful. And her body had betrayed her. The silence stretched between them like a chasm. "Alex, I can explain," Maya started. But her voice came out broken and small. "You're in a wheelchair." His voice was flat, confused, like he was trying to process something that didn't make sense. "Yes, I should have told you. I wanted to tell you, your ankle. You said you hurt your ankle. But that was months ago." His face was changing now, moving from confusion to something darker. Understanding. Betrayal. Maya felt tears starting to slide down her face. "It wasn't my ankle. It was never my ankle. I was in a car accident 3 years ago. I've used a wheelchair ever since." Alex set the food down on the counter carefully, mechanically. He wouldn't look at her. 3 months? We've been together for 3 months, and you never thought to mention this." I was scared. Every time I told someone before, they disappeared. I just wanted a chance for you to know me first before you made assumptions. Assumptions? Now he looked at her, and the hurt in his eyes made Maya want to disappear. "What assumptions, Maya? That I'm the kind of person who would judge you for using a wheelchair? That I'm that shallow? That's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean?" "Because from where I'm standing, you've been lying to me since the day we met. Our first date, you were already seated when I got there. You made excuses every time I suggested doing anything that required walking. You told me you hurt your ankle." "How many lies, Maya? How many times did you look me in the eye and lie?" Maya was crying openly now. I know it was wrong. I'm so sorry. I couldn't lose you. So you thought building our relationship on lies was better?" Alex ran his hands through his hair. That gesture she'd come to know meant he was stressed. "I told you about my ex-wife. About how she lied and hid things and then just left. I told you how much that destroyed me and Lily. And you thought this was okay?" "I was going to tell you. I swear I was just waiting for the right time." "When? After we moved in together? After Lily got more attached to you? When exactly was the right time to mention something this important?" His voice was rising now, and Maya had never seen him angry before. It was terrifying. "I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Alex paced to the window and back. Lily asks about you every day. Every single day. She talks about you at dinner. She draws pictures of you. She wants to know when you're coming over again. Do you know what that means to me? That my daughter, who barely remembers her mother, has opened her heart to you. The words hit Maya like physical blows. She'd been so focused on her own fear that she hadn't fully considered what she was doing to them, to a little girl who'd already been abandoned once. I never wanted to hurt her, or you. I swear, Alex, everything else was real. My feelings for you are real. How am I supposed to know what's real? You've been playing a character this whole time. The Maya I thought I knew doesn't exist. That's not true. Everything about me is real except this one thing. My love for terrible jokes is real. My passion for design is real. The way I feel when I'm with you and Lily is real. Alex shook his head. It's not one thing, Maya, it's who you are. And you hid it from me. Do you understand how fundamental that is? You didn't trust me enough to be honest. I trusted you with everything else. My dreams, my fears, my past. Everything except this. This is your present. This is your everyday life. And you kept me completely out of it. He looked around her apartment, really seeing it for the first time. The grab bars she'd forgotten about. The lowered counters in the kitchen. The way everything was positioned for wheelchair access. How much effort did it take to hide all this from me? A lot, Maya admitted quietly. It was exhausting. Then why do it? Why put yourself through that? Because I thought you'd leave. Her voice broke completely. Because everyone leaves. Because I'm broken and complicated and too much work and I just wanted to be loved without all of that getting in the way first. Alex's expression softened slightly, but the hurt was still there. I'm not everyone, Maya. Or at least I thought I wasn't, but you never gave me the chance to prove that. You're right. You're absolutely right, and I hate myself for it. I was a coward. No, you were scared. I get that. But you were also selfish. The words were harsh, but not cruel. Honest. You made this decision for both of us. You decided I couldn't handle it without even asking. You took away my choice. Maya hadn't thought about it that way, but he was right. She'd been so focused on protecting herself that she'd robbed him of his agency in their relationship. I don't know what to say, except I'm sorry. I know it's not enough. I know I've broken everything. But I'm sorry. Alex was quiet for a long moment, staring at the forgotten bags of Thai food on the counter. I need time to think. It's a lot. I understand. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. I trusted you. I let you into my life, into my daughter's life. And now I don't know what was real and what was performance. It was all real. I promise you everything I felt was real. But I can't trust your promises anymore, can I? He moved toward the door, then paused. I need you to understand something. This isn't about the wheelchair. If you'd told me on day one that you used a wheelchair, I wouldn't have cared. Lily's best friend's mom uses a wheelchair, and she's the coolest person I know. This is about the lying, about the fact that you didn't trust me. I know that now. I just wish I'd known it sooner. Alex opened the door, then looked back at her one more time. I need space. Please don't call or text for a while. I need to figure out what to tell Lily and how to process all of this. Okay. Maya forced the word out past the lump in her throat. For what it's worth, you and Lily are the best thing that's happened to me in years. I really did love you both. Did? Alex's voice cracked slightly. Past tense? I do love you. But I know I've lost you. Alex didn't confirm or deny it. He just left, closing the door quietly behind him. Maya sat in her wheelchair in the middle of her apartment, surrounded by all the things she'd tried so hard to hide, and let herself break completely. The Thai food sat cooling on the counter, filling her apartment with the smell of what should have been a nice evening together. Her phone buzzed. Nicole. Hey, sorry I missed your call. Everything okay? Maya typed back through blurry tears. He knows. He came over and saw everything. It's over. The response came immediately. I'm on my way. But as Maya waited for her friend, she realized that Nicole couldn't fix this. Nobody could. She'd done this to herself. And now she had to live with the consequences of choosing fear over faith, lies over truth. She'd been so afraid of being rejected for her disability that she'd guaranteed rejection through her dishonesty. The cruelest part was that Alex was right. It wasn't about the wheelchair at all. It never had been. A week passed in a blur of pain and regret. Maya went through the motions of living but felt like a ghost haunting her own life. She worked, She ate when Nicole forced her to, and she stared at her phone hoping for a message that never came. Nicole had been supportive but firm. "You messed up big time," she'd said that first night, sitting on Maya's couch with ice cream and tissues. "But you're not a bad person. You're just someone who's been hurt too many times and made a really stupid decision because of it." That doesn't make it better. No, it doesn't. But it makes it human. Nicole had squeezed her hand. "The question now is, what are you going to do about it?" Maya didn't have an answer. What could she do? Alex had asked for space, and she had to respect that, even if it was killing her. Meanwhile, across town, Alex was struggling with his own demons. He'd told his sister Rachel everything, and she'd listened without judgment while he paced around her living room, trying to make sense of his feelings. "I just don't understand why she thought lying was the answer," Alex said for what felt like the 100th time. If she'd just been honest from the start, none of this would have happened. Rachel, who was stirring sugar into her tea, gave him a long look. "Are you sure about that?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, would you have given her a real chance if she'd mentioned the wheelchair in her dating profile? Be honest." Alex opened his mouth to say yes, of course he would have, but the word stuck. Would he have? He wanted to believe he would. He liked to think he wasn't that shallow, but the truth was he'd never been in that situation before. "I don't know," he admitted finally. Maybe not. But that's not the point. The point is she took away my choice. You're right, she did. And what she did was wrong." Rachel took a sip of her tea. "But I'm wondering if maybe you're using the lying as a shield for something else." "What are you talking about? Are you upset about the lying? Or are you upset that she uses a wheelchair and you're worried about what that means? That's not fair, Rachel. I'm not that person. I'm not saying you are. But I'm asking you to really examine what you're feeling. Because if the wheelchair doesn't matter, then what matters is whether you still have feelings for her, and whether those feelings are strong enough to work through the breach of trust." Alex sat down heavily. "It's not that simple, isn't it? You either love her or you don't. You either think the relationship is worth saving or you don't. What about Lily? She's already attached to Maya. What if we get back together and it doesn't work out? What if Maya's not ready for the reality of dating someone with a kid?" Rachel laughed, but not unkindly. "Alex, honey, you're making up problems that don't exist yet. You're catastrophizing because you're scared. I'm not scared. You're terrified, just like Maya was. She was afraid you'd reject her for the wheelchair, so she hid it. You're afraid of getting hurt again like you did with Christine, so you're looking for reasons to walk away." The comparison to his ex-wife stung. That's not the same thing, isn't it? Christine left because she wasn't willing to do the hard work of being in a relationship. Are you about to do the same thing to Maya? Before Alex could respond, Lily came running in from the backyard where she'd been playing. "Dad, can we call Maya? I want to show her my new dinosaur book." Alex and Rachel exchanged glances. This was the conversation Alex had been dreading. "Come here, kiddo. I need to talk to you about something." Alex pulled Lily onto his lap. "Maya and I are taking a break right now." Lily's face fell. "Why, did you have a fight?" "Sort of, grown-up stuff. It's complicated. But you still like her, right? And she still likes you?" Alex's throat tightened. "I think so. But sometimes liking someone isn't enough. Sometimes people hurt each other, and they need time apart to figure things out." Lily was quiet for a moment, processing this. Then she asked, "Did she hurt you on purpose?" "No, I don't think so." "Then why can't you just forgive her? You always tell me that if someone says sorry and they mean it, we should forgive them." Out of the mouths of babes, Alex looked at his daughter. This wise little person who somehow saw things more clearly than he did. "It's more complicated than that, Lily." Why do grown-ups always say things are complicated? If you love someone and they made a mistake, you forgive them. That's what you taught me. Rachel was smirking behind her teacup, clearly enjoying watching Alex get schooled by a 7-year-old. "You really like Maya, don't you?" Alex asked. "I love Maya. She listens to me talk about dinosaurs and doesn't get bored. She helps me with my drawings. She laughs at my jokes even when they're not funny." Lily's eyes filled with tears. Please don't let her go away like Mom did. And there it was. The real fear underlying everything. Not just Alex's fear, but Lily's too. "Hey, this is nothing like what happened with Mom," Alex said, pulling Lily close. "Your mom left because she didn't want to be a mom anymore. That had nothing to do with you or with anything you did. Maya is different. Then why are you letting her go? It was a question Alex didn't have a good answer for. That night, after Rachel had gone to bed and Lily was asleep, Alex found himself looking at photos on his phone. There were dozens of pictures of him and Maya together, her laughing at one of his bad jokes, the two of them at dinner. Maya and Lily drawing together on his living room floor. In every single photo, Maya looked genuinely happy. There was no fakeness there, no performance. Whatever else she'd lied about, her feelings had been real. He could see it in every smile, every laugh, every gentle moment with Lily. He thought about what Rachel had said, about using the lying as a shield. Was she right? Was he looking for an excuse to run because he was scared? The wheelchair didn't bother him. That was the truth. Lily's best friend Chloe had a mom who used a wheelchair, and she was one of the most active, involved parents at school. She coached soccer, she volunteered for field trips, she did everything any other parent did. The wheelchair was just part of how she moved through the world. So what was really bothering him? The breach of trust, yes. That was real and it hurt. But under that, if he was really honest with himself, there was fear. Fear that he wasn't enough. Fear that the relationship would be too hard. Fear that he'd fail at this like he'd failed at his marriage. But Maya hadn't asked him to be perfect. She'd just asked him to see her. Really see her. And he'd walked away before giving her that chance. His phone lit up with a text from Rachel. "Stop overthinking and follow your heart." That's all I'm gonna say. Well, that and Lily had a point. Think about what you're teaching her about love and forgiveness. Alex stared at the message for a long time. Then he looked at the photos again. Then he made a decision. The next morning, Alex called in sick to work. He'd never done that before unless Lily was actually sick, but he needed this day. He dropped Lily off at school and then sat in his car in the parking lot, trying to figure out what he wanted to say. He missed Maya. That was the simple truth underneath all the complicated feelings. He missed her laugh, her insights on his students' artwork, the way she made him feel seen and understood. He missed the way Lily lit up when Maya was around. But more than that, he was starting to understand why Maya had lied. Not excuse it, but understand it. The world wasn't always kind to people who were different. People made assumptions. They saw limitations before they saw the person. Maya had been trying to control the narrative, trying to be seen as herself first before being defined by her wheelchair. It was misguided and hurtful, but it came from a place of deep pain. And hadn't Alex done something similar? Hadn't he hidden his own struggles with single parenthood when they first started dating, only sharing the highlight reel? Hadn't he waited to introduce her to Lily because he was afraid of being judged as a single dad? It wasn't the same scale of deception, but it came from the same fear. Nobody was perfect. Everyone brought baggage to relationships. Everyone had scars that made them act in ways that weren't always rational. The question was whether the love was worth fighting. Through the mess, Alex pulled out his phone and typed a message to Maya. Then he deleted it. Then he typed another one and deleted that too. Words felt insufficient for what he needed to say. Finally, he decided that some conversations needed to happen face to face. He drove to Maya's apartment, his heart pounding the whole way. What if she didn't want to see him? What if she'd already moved on? What if he'd waited too long? But when he knocked on her door and she opened it, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt with her hair in a messy bun, looking like she'd been crying for days, he knew he'd made the right choice in coming. "Alex," she breathed, and there was so much hope and fear in that one word that it broke his heart. "Can we talk?" Really talk this time. Maya nodded and wheeled back to let him in. They sat in her living room, the same room where everything had fallen apart a week ago, and Alex took a deep breath. "I've been thinking a lot this past week. About what you did, about why you did it, and about what I want." Maya's hands were clasped tightly in her lap. "Okay, what you did was wrong. The lying hurt. It hurt a lot. And I need you to understand that. I do. I completely understand. And I'm so sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I need you to know how much I regret it. I believe you." Alex shifted closer. "But I also need you to understand something. My ex-wife lied to me about a lot of things. She told me she wanted to be a mother, and then she decided she didn't. She told me she loved me, and then she left. So the lying triggered something deep for me. It brought up old wounds I thought I'd healed from. I didn't know. I mean, you told me she left, but I didn't realize." Maya's voice trailed off. "How could you? I didn't tell you the full story either. I was protecting myself too." He managed a small smile. "Turns out we're both pretty scared people." Yeah, we are. Alex reached over and took her hand. Maya looked at their joined hands like she couldn't quite believe it was real. Lily asked me why I couldn't just forgive you. She said that if you didn't hurt me on purpose and you're sorry, then that's what people do. They forgive. Alex's eyes were bright with unshed tears. And you know what? She's right. That kid is smarter than both of us combined. She asked about me? Maya's voice cracked. Every single day. She's been drawing you pictures and asking when you're coming back. She told me she loves you. He paused, and I realized something. I love you too. I fell in love with you, Maya. Not with some perfect version of you, but with the real you. The you who laughs at terrible jokes and talks about color theory like it's the most important thing in the world. The you who sits on the floor for 2 hours listening to a 7-year-old talk about dinosaurs. That's who I love. Tears were streaming down Maya's face now. I love you too so much, and I promise no more lies ever about anything. I'll tell you everything, even the hard stuff. I need that. I need to know I can trust you. Can we do that? Can we start over with complete honesty? Yes, God, yes. Maya squeezed his hand. Ask me anything. Anything at all. I'm an open book now, Alex thought for a moment. Okay, how bad was it? Physically, I mean. Hiding the wheelchair and pretending? Maya took a deep breath. It was really bad. I was exhausted all the time. In pain constantly. I had to use my crutches way more than my body can handle. And I paid for it every time. After every date with you, I'd come home and basically collapse for 2 days. Maya. Alex looked horrified. Why would you put yourself through that? Because being with you felt worth it. Because for the first time since my accident, I felt like someone saw me as more than my disability. I know that doesn't make it right. I know I should have just trusted you. But in the moment, the pain felt like a fair trade. It shouldn't have to be a trade. You should never have to hurt yourself to be loved. I know that now. My therapist has had a field day with this whole situation. Maya managed a weak smile. I've got a lot to work on. We all do. That's part of being human. Alex moved even closer. Tell me about the accident. If you're comfortable, I want to know your story. So Maya told him. About the rainy night 3 years ago. About the drunk driver who ran a red light. About the surgeries and the rehabilitation. And the slow acceptance that her life would never be the same. She told him about the friends who disappeared and the boyfriend who left. She told him about learning to live independently and about the joy of finding work she loved that she could do from home. And Alex listened. Really listened. He didn't interrupt or try to fix things. He just held her hand and let her share the story she'd been too afraid to tell. Starting over wasn't easy. Trust, Maya learned, was harder to rebuild than to build in the first place. But they both committed to trying. The first thing they did was go on a real first date. Maya, in her wheelchair, met Alex at a restaurant she'd carefully avoided before because the entrance required navigating a small ramp. This time she rolled right up without hesitation. This feels strange, Maya admitted as they looked over the menus. Being completely myself with you. No planning, no hiding, no strategic seating arrangements. Good strange or bad strange? Alex asked. Good, definitely good. Just different. Like I can actually breathe for the first time in months. They talked about logistics. Maya explained what her wheelchair meant in practical terms. That some days were better than others. That cold weather made things harder. That she could transfer to regular seating when needed, but preferred to stay in her chair when possible because it was more comfortable and less exhausting. I want to know all of this, Alex said. I want to understand your world. Not because you're a project or because I'm trying to fix anything, but because I love you and this is part of your life. Thank you. That means everything. Maya reached across the table. And I want you to know that you can ask me anything. Even if it feels awkward or inappropriate. I'd rather answer honest questions than have you wondering and making assumptions. Okay, here's one. That first date when you were already sitting down, how did you even manage that? Maya laughed, and it felt good to laugh about it now instead of carrying the shame. Nicole, my best friend. She helped me get settled and then took my wheelchair home. I was terrified the entire time that you'd suggest going for a walk or something. And the twisted ankle story? Completely made up. I'm sorry. I used forearm crutches because they were easier to hide than a whole wheelchair. Which was stupid because using them put so much strain on my body. I was basically torturing myself to maintain the lie. Alex shook his head in amazement. The amount of effort you put into hiding this is incredible. I just wish you'd put that energy into trusting me instead. Me too. Believe me too. Over the next few weeks, they took things slowly. Alex invited Maya over for dinner with Lily, and this time there were no secrets. When Lily answered the door and saw the wheelchair, her eyes went wide. Cool wheels. Can I push you? Maya had to laugh at the pure, uncomplicated enthusiasm. Maybe later. Right now I need to talk to you about something. They sat in the living room. Lily curled up next to Maya's wheelchair, and Maya explained in simple terms about her accident and why she used a wheelchair. Lily listened intently, asked a dozen questions about how everything worked, and then declared that it didn't change anything because Maya was still Maya. Dad was sad when you went away, Lily said, looking between them. Are you going to stay now? I'm going to try really hard to stay, Maya promised. But your dad and I have to work on some grown-up stuff first. We have to learn to trust each other better. That's what me and Chloe did when we had a fight. We said sorry and promised to be better friends. And now we are, Alex smiled. When did you get so wise? I'm 7. I know lots of stuff. That night after Lily went to bed, Alex and Maya talked for hours about their future. What it would look like, what they needed from each other, what their boundaries and expectations were. I need you to promise me something, Alex said. If something is wrong, if you're struggling with something, if you're scared or hurt or worried, you tell me. No more hiding to protect me or because you think you're being a burden. I promise, and I need the same from you. Don't hide your concerns about whether you can handle this or whether it's too much. I can take honesty. What I can't take is wondering what you're really thinking. Deal. They shook on it, and then they both laughed at the formality of it. But the promise was real, and they both meant it. The next challenge came a month later when Alex invited Maya to a family gathering at his parents' house. Meeting the extended family was always a big step, but Maya was nervous for additional reasons. What if they think I'm not good enough for you? What if they worry I can't keep up or that I'll be a burden to you and Lily? Alex held her face in his hands. Then they'll be wrong, and I'll tell them so. My family isn't perfect, but they're good people. Give them a chance. The party was overwhelming at first. There were so many people, so many eyes on her, so many questions. But Alex's sister Rachel immediately took Maya under her wing. I'm so glad he gave you another chance, Rachel said, getting Maya a drink. He was miserable without you. And between you and me, what you did was stupid, but I get it. People can be awful about things they don't understand. Thank you, I think, for the honesty anyway. That's what family does. We tell the truth even when it's awkward. Rachel grinned. Welcome to the chaos. Alex's parents were warm but cautious, clearly trying to feel out the situation. His mom asked careful questions about Maya's work and her interests. His dad talked about accessible hiking trails he'd read about, clearly trying to show he was thinking about accommodation. It was Lily who broke the ice completely by dragging Maya over to show her off to her cousins. This is Maya. She's Dad's girlfriend and she's really cool. She knows everything about colors and design, and she doesn't mind when I talk about dinosaurs for a really long time. The kids, ranging from 5 to 13, all crowded around asking questions about the wheelchair. How fast could it go? Could she do tricks? Did it have a motor? Maya answered patiently, and by the end of the evening, half the kids had taken turns sitting in her lap while she gave them wheelchair rides around the yard. I think you won them over, Alex said on the drive home. Lily already asleep in the back seat.